Hello everyone, and welcome to this lecture. We're looking at deflation. Deflation is whereby there is a negative inflation, completely the opposite of inflation. So deflation comes out with two causes. Deflation can be caused on the demand side, and also can be caused on the supply side. So we have demand side deflation and supply side deflation. Often economists tend to name demand side deflation as bad, malignant deflation. So it's actually deflation that's going to be horrible for economy. Then supply side deflation is known as good, benign deflation. It's actually going to encompass some of the benefits in the economy, whereby we are going to see some of the benefits accruing from how firms are going to benefit, how consumers are going to benefit. So the diagram of demand side deflation and supply side deflation are those ones which are here. So we are seeing that on demand side deflation, aggregate demand is shifting to the left. Then we are seeing a fall in growth and a fall in prices, right? Demand inflation is completely disappearing. That's what we mean by deflation, whereby there is negative inflation. Then supply side deflation is whereby we shift aggregate supply to the right. Then we see increase in growth and a fall in prices. That is supply side deflation or a good benign deflation. So economists tend to give those certain names to these types of deflations. So moving forward, I want to look at what are the causes of demand side deflation, and also what are the causes of supply side deflation. So you should understand that it's called bad malignant deflation because, as you can see on the diagram, it comes with lower growth. You see, when aggregate demand shifts to the left like this, is shifting to the left, we are seeing that there's going to be a fall in growth. So that's how it gets its name of bad malignant, is it reduces growth in the economy. You know that growth comes up, encompasses many things. With lower growth, you're likely going to see high levels of unemployment are also rising at the same time when the prices are falling, are rapidly falling. So that is what I mean, comes with lower growth. Then we have usually it's called demand side deflation because it's actually have an anticipated nature. It's likely to be long term and unanticipated, because we are saying that for an economy to get out of a recession, it takes time for economy to get out of a recession. So there's actually a big period that even if they implement policies, that it's going to take time for them to get out of that recession. So it's actually going to be long term and anticipated. You know that anticipated is a type of deflation that's going to last for a long period of time. So going to the other side of supply side deflation, looking at the diagram, we are seeing that supply side deflation actually it's called good benign deflation because it comes with high growth. As you can see, growth is increasing when short run supply shifting to the right. That's actually going to be a good thing. Then it's actually going to be short term and unanticipated. That's the reason why it is called unanticipated. It's unlikely to be short term is because we're talking about how prices of raw materials are going to fall. That's only going to happen for a short period of time. So we're actually going to escape from that deflation. On that supply side deflation side, is short term and unanticipated because price of raw materials can fall and rise within weeks. So it's called short term and unanticipated deflation. It's actually going to be beneficial to the economy because it comes with high growth. We know that with high growth, there's likely going to be improvement in the quality of life of people. Is everything is going to be very encompassing. Firms are going to see their actually find more investment. That's how we see supply side deflation, known as good benign deflation. So I want to talk about the anticipated nature. Moving forward to this part, we are looking at anticipated deflation is actually going to be dangerous because it causes what we say a deflationary spiral. A spiral is going to be a problem because we are seeing that deflation going to last for a long period of time. In the 1990s, we look at Japan, suffered from a deflationary spiral for a long period of time. So they find they were struggling to get out of that deflation. So the deflationary spiral is actually going to be dangerous if India it is anticipated. So what is going to happen that can lead to deflationary spirals? Consumer will delay their spending because there's no reason for you to increase your marginal propensity to consume, knowing that the prices are going to fall in the coming months. You should buy major purchases when you know that the price have reached the bottom part of it. So you should understand that the consumers will be delaying their consumption so that they can actually save their money because prices are continuously falling. So that's going to end up having a deflationary spiral, more deflation causing more deflation when consumers delay their consumption, and firms are going to heavily discount their prices, are going to reduce prices massively, that's also going to cause major problems. Then we are talking about positive real interest rate. This is a result that even if we're talking about how can you calculate a real interest rate, it will remain positive because if we say that maybe the nominal interest rate was falling maybe to 0% minus our deflation, let's say it was 3%, the real return on interest rate is still going to be positive. So consumers are incentivized to save money than to borrow money, because borrowing money is going to make everything worse. So they're incentivized to save money so that they can have a real return. Their money will have a purchasing power if they decide to make major purchases in the coming months. So that is another issue that you have to consider. Talking about a deflationary spiral increases the value of debt. So how does it increase the value of debt? We are saying that deflation that is anticipated is actually going to cause major issues in the economy. Looking at how firms' profits are going to fall, how incomes are going to fall. So right now, rational consumers no longer have that income stream. Their income stream is falling. They are being reduced their wages because they have lost their bargaining power. Because right now the firm no longer is making more profits because consumers are doing their consumption with the lower wages. So it increases the real value of debt. Maybe you've taken out a mortgage as a worker. That mortgage to buy a house that was 20,000, a debt will be fixed. So there will be failure. You fail to repay back that debt because the real value of debt right now is increased. So you as a consumer, you fail to pay that debt. So that is going to be a real issue, and it's going to cause major problems because the real value of debt will remain the same, but your income right now is now reduced. So you'll be failing to pay that debt back. So going to a short-term deflationary is actually going to be beneficial. We're talking about supply-side deflation. We're talking about falling prices benefits consumers. We know that when short-run supply shift to the right, we are going to see increase in cotton prices are going to fall. These are going to be huge benefits. Falling inputs prices for firms, that is also going to be beneficial. When inputs are going to be lower, their cost of production are also going to be lower. They're incentivized to produce more, and they're incentivized to increase the national output of the country. That's also going to be beneficial. It increases the gross domestic product of the country. So that is short-term deflationary also having of benefits, and anticipated deflation is actually going to be dangerous. It causes deflationary spirals, but short-term deflation is beneficial, as you have seen. I was explaining going forward the difference between demand-side deflation and supply-side deflation, how we are going to encompass it. So talking about the major assumption that you must always keep in mind that sometimes it's not always the issue that demand-side deflation is always going to be a problem. We're making an assumption that is based that sometimes there may be changes, that supply-side deflation is actually going to be long-term and the demand-side deflation is going to be short-term. But we are using assumptions that are used by economists when they were looking at demand-side deflation and supply-side deflation. So looking at my key evaluation points, I'm going to say that a deflation is the points of a judgment. So here is whereby you talk about what you've seen about you're steering the examiner to your answer. So deflation, I'm seeing it as you have to look at the nature. If the most important thing about deflation is to consider that deflation anticipated or unanticipated. If it is anticipated, it's going to cause, it's dangerous for the economy, it's deadly. You don't want to mess with that type of deflation. But if it is unanticipated, it's actually going to encompass some of the major benefits for the economy. It's going to come with higher growth, and also going to lead to falling prices for consumers, falling input prices for firms. So that is actually going to be very beneficial to the economy. So another thing you have to consider the cause. Is it demand side deflation or supply side deflation? You look at demand side deflation going to being horrible. It's called the bad malignant deflation from the start. I was mentioning that point there. Then supply side deflation is actually going to be beneficial to the economy, known as good benign deflation. So that's how you explain deflation. Is a very, very interesting concept in economics. Usually come up on data response questions, so you should be able to answer such a question. So make sure that you have detail about it. So it has been a wonderful time with you talking about deflation. So I will see you in the next video. Thank you so much for watching. Make sure you subscribe to my channel so that you can actually going to produce more content going forward. I'm looking forward to actually produce more content. Thank you.